a trailer on a 2-inch hitch. I can shoot a shotgun, I can catch a fish. I can change a tire on the side of a road. Yeah, I know a few things a man ought to know.
Lainey, thank you so much for making time for me. Before we start talking about your new album, your great success, the changes that you are making in country music, and the fact that you are being established in such an incredible way, I have to ask you, what part of the country are you in right now, and how are you doing? Because, as you know, the rest of the world knows, we've been dealing with COVID-19 from 2020 leading into 2021, and what a wild year of all these things have been going on, from COVID to racism being spoken in such a different manner, to, of course, the election that you guys were dealing with down there, and just mass versus mass, Karen, Kevin, that can keep going on and on and on. And, of course, it's leaking into 2021. How are you doing?
Whew, man. You literally, yes, it has been a year. It really has. But, you know, we're hanging in there. I'm actually in Nashville right now. I've been going back and forth to Louisiana a little bit to see my family, but other than that, I've really been staying busy. I mean, we've been writing a bunch on Zoom. We've been doing the Zoom thing and just, you know, still taking care of business in a different kind of way, but still doing the dang thing.
How is Nashville? Because I know with the tornado that happened, I think it was over the summer or something like that, and like if there's ever anywhere in the country. You know, of course, Nashville, to me, being the capital when it comes to songwriting and really mind connecting for music. But when it comes to nature, Nashville's been taking a beating.
Man, you are not lying. It really has been crazy. And, yeah, the tornado rolled through here right before the shutdown happened. It was a week and a half before the shutdown. And, so Nashville just got hit so hard. But I will tell you, what I love about this town is everybody truly does pull together when they need to, and that's what happened. You know, everybody stopped what they were doing and went and helped everybody, and it's really a beautiful thing, and I'm proud to live here, man.
Any chance the bars can be opening soon? Because, man, we got to hear music from. See, I figure this way: if we get music happening from Nashville, it's going to trigger around the rest of the world, and here, where I'm talking in Toronto, it'll start opening things up here too.
Man, I hope that's the case. I hear different things every day. I know that right now we do have a couple shows booked for June, and I'm sure, you know, we'll still be taking, you know, cautions and doing that whole thing. But as of right now, my shows start in June, and I'm hoping they stay on the board. I'm like, I need a live show so bad, and I know the rest of the world does too. It's amazing what going to an actual live concert can do for your soul.
Absolutely. But in the meantime, as we speak, we've got a new album coming out from you, Sayin, What I'm Thinking. Congratulations on that. How did you even get a chance to record an album throughout these tough times where things were open and then shut down? And like,
yes. Well,
how did it work?
Well, this record has been done. We kind of pushed it back. It's been done for a while. We pushed the release back because, you know, everything was happening, and then it still just kind of felt like, well, look, we got to go on and put the thing out, and right now more than ever people need music. And we've been sitting on it waiting for the perfect time, and I truly do feel like it is a good time. It feels good. It feels good in my bones, and I feel like, you know, now is the time. So yeah, it's coming out. It's called Sayin, What I'm Thinking, and from top to bottom, so proud of the thing and all the work that has gone into just every part of this record. And I've got a great team around it, and it feels good.
I want to talk more about the album and, of course, your new single that has done so well. But I want to talk a little bit about yourself and the love of music and where that all came from. Where did that all begin for you?
Yeah, so the first time I sang out in public was my kindergarten graduation. And I was dressed up like a little butterfly, and I sang Butterfly Kisses. And I wrote my first song at 9 years old. It was like a Britney Spears kind of song. My daddy showed me a few chords on the guitar, and at 11 years old, and then I started playing 11, and it's really kind of broadened the whole, you know, songwriting world for me. And just it's always been one of those things, truthfully, that just kind of tracked me down and wouldn't let me go, even from a very early age. And I always knew that, you know, I wanted to be in Nashville. I wanted to really do this thing. But in the meantime, throughout high school, I sang everywhere. I mean, I even impersonated Hannah Montana, and that was my job. I did that for 5 years. And every now and then they would let Lainey Wilson open the show. Some of the time they'd be like, "Who's Lainey Wilson? We don't want her." But then I started playing with a cover band in Northeast Louisiana, and I was honestly not even old enough to be getting into the clubs, but since I was working, it was fine. And finally, at 19 years old, I decided if I was really going to do this thing for real, that I needed to be in Nashville. So I came up here in a camper trailer, and I lived in a camper the first 3 years, and I've been in Nashville now for 10 years.
I got to say right off the top, and I can't think of his name. I know his first name is Bob, the guy who did sing originally Butterfly Kisses. He was actually one of the very first big artists I ever interviewed when I started doing interviews. So I feel like we got a connection there. Your first big performance was that.
That's
my
crazy.
big,
yeah, Bob Carlyle.
There you go, Bob Carlyle, and he was such a gentleman. In fact, after I did my interview with him, because it was the first big one, and I was really, nervous about it, he enjoyed it so much, he actually asked me to introduce him at the show that he was doing in Toronto, and I'm always grateful for that, because that really helped open up doors. And here you are singing his song, and that opened up doors for you.
Wow.
You have been opening up a lot of doors, because, things I've been reading about, and a lot of critics, if you want to use that term, of other people, say that you are the next big thing. When you think about that, and especially knowing with country music being such, not just a family, but just a roster of talent, how does it feel knowing that you're part of that genre and part of that group?
It really is crazy, and it's such an honor. And I've known my whole life that I was going to do this. I've never had a plan B, and this is really the only thing I'm kind of good at. So I've just decided if I don't go home, I've got to make it at some point in time. But I've known that this is just the beginning for me. And there's so many people who I look up to, and I just, I respect, and I see all the hard work that goes into this. And to be even in the same sentence as those folks is pretty mind-blowing for me.
Have you had a chance to run into any of your idols growing up? And if so, what was the experience like? I haven't ran into like my idol. When I think of my idol, I think of Dolly Parton. Of course.
And I do have a song called WWDD. And, I haven't met her, but she has heard the song. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I can go home now. Dolly Parton heard my song.
But you realize
that was an unreal moment.
But you realize, though, because here you are, we're talking about Dolly Parton, who has done so much, not just for country music, but literally the world. I mean, she was giving money for the vaccines and stuff, and just amazing stories that we've been hearing what she's been doing for the rest of the world in 2020. Do you realize that you are going to be, or are right now, an influence for a young artist who's going to get up there in front of her kindergarten, in a butterfly or, suit and sing a song that you created?
Man, I just got chills. I'm not even going to play. That's unreal to me. And yes, I hope I can be, half as influential as Dolly has been to the world. I mean, everything from her style, her sense of humor, her personality. I mean, her songwriting, her singing, how she's an incredible businesswoman, but more importantly, her heart. Her heart is just made of gold, and you can just see it in every area of her life. And that's pretty cool to think that I might have an opportunity to be that for somebody one day.
The thing I love about your music, too, is you've got this incredible balance of old school and new school. Now, I've mentioned that about other artists, but yours is like one does not overpower the other, because it's like you hear your songs and somebody will turn around and say, well, that's a new school song, that's an old school song. They don't say that about your songs, though, because they're such a blend. If there was a word that could say old school and new school together, that's what your music is.
I love that, and I actually do have a word for that. Bell-bottom country is what I like to call it.
Wow.
Country with a flair, fresh but familiar. You know, I'm a sucker for everything throwback. I mean, whether it's music or clothes or whatever it is, like, I just feel like things that are throwback come with a good story. And I'm a sucker for a good story. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that is the goal. That's the goal, for people to feel that it is fresh but also familiar.
When you hear your songs, because from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong or not, your songs have been picked up on shows, correct?
Yes.
What shows have your songs been on?
So I've had 3 of my songs be on Yellowstone on the Paramount Network, and I mean, my gosh, I don't know if you've seen the show. If not, you need to watch it. Those cowboys are pretty nice to look at for me. But yeah, it's crazy. You know, you move to Nashville and you dream about your song being played on the radio, and you dream about all these things and people singing the words back to you, but never in a million years do you think your music would make it onto one of your favorite shows. And it's been such a blessing. I ended up becoming friends with the producer and writer of the show, Taylor Sheridan, and he's really just kind of taken a liking to me and my music and wants to help me any way he can, and it's been pretty dang awesome. What
kind of stories do you like to tell through your music?
You know, I love to tell the truth, whether it's my truth or maybe a story that I've heard along the way. I feel like just being honest and real and true to my core, those are the songs that end up doing the best for me, the ones that people can really relate to and connect with. And, yeah, that's my goal, is just to continue just being unapologetically myself and saying it how I want to say it.
Then let's get to the album. I kind of already mentioned the name of it before, but I'm going to allow you to do it. What's the name of the new album? And for this point in your career, what's the album about, and how does it represent you today?
Absolutely. Yeah, so the name of the record is Sayin' What I'm Thinking. I've been pretty much saying what I'm thinking my entire life, so I figured why not name the record Sayin' What I'm Thinking? You know, we chose every single song on this record based off of, is it saying what I'm thinking? Whether it was Things a Man Ought to Know, Dirty Looks, What Would Dolly Do? Whatever it was, we asked ourselves the question, is this saying what I'm thinking? And actually, when you listen to Sayin' What I'm Thinking, you know, when you see that title, because that is one of the names of the songs, the title track, you think it's going to be a fun kind of, you know, sassy song. But what I love about songwriting is you can take titles like that and kind of surprise people. And that's what we did with that song in particular. We made it about just being honest with yourself and being honest with people. But yes, the entire project from top to bottom is it's really just about, it's me telling the world who I am, what I stand for, what I believe, and just, you know, the beginning of what I have to say.
Okay, now we talked about the signature sound, bell bottom country. I think the single that we're about to talk about absolutely represents that. What's the new single called, and what's the song about, please?
Yes, the single is called Things a Man Ought to Know. When we sat down to write this song, we started talking about all the things that my parents taught me growing up, things that they thought were essential things that I needed to know before I left the house, and like how to back up a truck and trailer, how to turn a wrench, how to change a tire, but really it's not about that. It's about the characteristics that my parents taught me to look for in myself, but also in other people. And truthfully, this song is just about having good character, and it's about treating people the way that you want to be treated. And dang it, that is something we all need to know, especially in times like this. And it's not something that just a man ought to know. It's seriously everybody.
How to know when it's love, how to stay when it's tough, how to know you're messing up a good thing, and how to fix it for it's too late. And yeah, I know a boy who gave up and got it wrong. If you really love a woman, you don't let her go. Yeah, I know a few things a man ought to know.
I was just about to say this is the perfect song right now for what we've all been going through, whether it be in front of somebody or on social media or what we're seeing on television. Perfect song needed right now. But what we also need are performances. We mentioned about you were saying that hopefully towards the summer that's going to happen. Will there be any virtual performances happening as we lead up to the summer? And in that tour you kind of talked about, is Canada involved with it?
Oh, man. I don't know if Canada's on the books right now. As soon as they let me, I promise you I'll be up there. And also right now we're trying to scope some things out. And, yes, we are going to do some more virtual stuff. I feel like, right now it's important for me to stay connected with my people. And like I said, more than ever, people need music right now. And so that's what I'm going to give them. And I'm going to keep doing the whole virtual thing until we don't have to do it any longer.
Amen.
And I'll probably still even do it then.
Amen to that. Look, as we wrap this interview up, you have such a positive spirit. And like I was mentioning earlier, we're going through some tough times. People were doing the 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year, world's going to change. Didn't turn out that way just yet. But there are still cracks that you can see that things will change. What advice can you give folks as we're trying to get through, because people are losing jobs, families are being broken up, people are really dealing with mental illness. What advice can you give folks that, hopefully they can just hang on, get through the dark times and lead to the good times?
Absolutely. My advice is there is always light on the other side. Everybody experiences all kind of things in life, and you are not alone. Reach out to whoever you need to reach out to. Be kind to people. Right now, people need kindness. And if that means, you might not be able to hug them around the neck right now, but just, let them know you're thinking about them and that they're not alone. And that's what we got to do. We just got to hang in there together. This is it. There's so many people, different types of people all around the world, but at the end of the day, we're supposed to love each other. And that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. What I also need to get from you, though, is social media, because that's how we go and connect and follow people these days, wherever you are around the world, and hopefully coming to Canada. Cross fingers, boots, and hearts. Maybe you may be involved with that this year, next year. Fingers are crossed. How do we follow you on social media? Where do we go? Yeah,
so on Instagram, it's Lainey Wilson Music. Same thing on TikTok. I'm crazy on TikTok now. Let's see, Facebook is just Lainey Wilson, and it's Lainey, and then LaineyWilson.com. You can see all my show information on there and all that good stuff.
Wait a minute, are you doing the dancing stuff on TikTok?
Oh, shoot, I do. I'm telling you right now, I've done it all.
Okay, I have to make sure I follow. Lainey, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you for the music. Cross fingers that we're going to get you up here in Canada at some point. But just thank you so much for all the positivity you're giving the rest of the world.
Oh, man, I appreciate you so much, man. I can't wait to meet you.
Same here. Take care. Be safe. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.